everybody. Welcome to another episode of Deal Hound Club, where you can actually make money today flipping cars. I go on here and I find the best deals possible. So like, share, subscribe if you want to find the best deals on Facebook Marketplace that are available. Just going over some of these old ones here. I was on the fence on this one at 28, but it looks like it sold pretty quick. That one's gone. This truck sold. I knew that was going to sell once it dropped to 1,000. Let's see what else is sold. GTO sold quick. I knew that was going to sell pretty quick. The Broncos sold. See, I get a lot of pushback on these Broncos because people think they're way too highly priced, but this one literally sold in a week. Well, I don't know, nobody knows what it sold for, but he had it listed for 45. So sold in a week. So we'll start today's episode. We're on here. I've been looking at thousands of cars and trucks and stuff. So sometimes I forget why I saved them. This one here is a good deal. So this is one of those rare 97 short beds. Crew cab short beds. They only did these in limited numbers. This one is a 460. I'm pretty sure it's an automatic. Yeah, automatic. 460 automatic, but it's at $9,000 and it's in pretty good shape if I remember right. Runs and drives pretty good. Good solid truck. These are still going for 10 plus 10 to 12,000. So 9,000. I think there's some money to be made there. You could probably offer them 8 and then list it for for 11 or something like that, and still do okay. Another one. I don't know why I'm on this crew cab kick here. I've been watching these crew cabs. There's another short bed crew cab, 3,800. Of course, this one's a lot rougher shape than the other one, and it is also a 460 automatic. And of course, this one's going to need a lot of work. So this is more of a work truck. But again, any money you put into this, you're going to get back because this one's 3,800, and clean, good ones are going for 10 grand plus. So the body's in pretty decent shape. It's got a few nicks on it. Yeah. But for 3,800, I still you're not going to get hurt on this. I think you could buy this. You could probably offer them 35 and sell it for 55 to 65 pretty easy. Just the way it is. Okay. Then I ran across this one. This was a really good deal. Don't know why it's so cheap. This one is a 67 Mustang, 289. So 68 was last year for the 289, first year for the 302. So 68 was a transition year. So technically, 67 was the last year that the 289 was the only option. After that, it went to 68. They offered the 302. It's got a little bit of rust in the quarters, but still at 2,900, you're not going to get hurt on this one at all. And again, most of the body panels and stuff are here. I would just clean this up, put all the body panels back into it, fix what needs to be fixed, and send it down the road. You could list this probably for 5,500 running and driving, and be fine. So anyway, that's a good deal. The next one. So this one I ran across. Okay, so these are rare, guys. Don't sleep on these FJs. These are the Trail Teams editions. So here's what I learned about these Trail Teams. I could be wrong, but I heard this from somebody who was considered an expert in the FJs. Is that every year that they did the Trails team, they did them in different colors, and they did different colors on the wheels. So these wheels are 1 year only, and different colors. So these TRD wheels are pretty hot to trot. Anyway, I just found that was interesting information. But this one is really clean, really low mileage, 90,000 miles. I've seen these with this kind of mileage. I've seen these going for up in the mid 30s. So 28.9 is pretty low. I bet you could easily list this for 32.5 and get your money back out of it. So yeah, only 2,500 were made, so these are pretty limited production. These are pretty sought after in the Toyota world, guys. So yeah, keep your eyes on those. All right, next one. Okay, all right. So this one is very interesting. All right, one of 1,443. I don't know what that means. One of 1,443. You know, some of these people get kind of exaggerated on these one ofs. You know, if he's saying it was the one of only 400, one of 1,500 444 speed Chargers, I'd be a little shocked at that number being that low. But you know, they start going down the rabbit hole. One of 1,500 444 speed orange with no vinyl top, you know, blah blah blah. You know, they start going down this list. But anyway, I digress. So this car is worth it, though. I'm telling you, this is a numbers matching 440 with the 18 spline tranny, 4-speed tranny. Numbers matching is where the money's at, guys. I'm telling you, this is where all the value is. Obviously, it's going to need quarter panels. I'm sure it's going to need floors. I'm sure it's going to need plenty of body work. But this is 6-figure car completely done right. Or you don't have to do it completely right. You can throw some quarters on it, fix the lowers, paint the car, and making a running, driving, and enjoy the car. And you would, this car would still bring good money because it's a 440 numbers matching 4-speed car. Yeah, bucket seat, center console, kind of a rare option car, the way it sits. I think he's in the money on this. I hate to say it because that number is kind of high for what you're looking at, but these cars bring it. All right. Next one. Okay, this one's unique. This is something different if you guys want something completely different. These 57 Oldsmobile 88s are really cool. I've always loved the rear windows on these with this rear window deal. And he doesn't show it in this picture, but the exhaust comes out the bumper here. I just think it's really cool. Unfortunately, it's not a hardtop one. It is a column, but for 10 grand for a car in this condition, I think he's sleeping on it. I don't know what's under the hood. Doesn't say anything about what's under the hood. And so I don't know anything about it. This is one of those that you're going to have to call them, but what I'm seeing, 10 grand is too cheap. V8 under the hood with, a good running car like this, redo this seat, clean up the interior, and, you're looking at a $15,000 car pretty easy. So yeah, there's plenty of money to be made on that one. Let's see here. Okay, so here's another one that I think there's some money to be made on. I think there's probably 10 grand sitting here on this one. This is a 40 Merc convertible, and it is unmolested. Well, it's been completely restored, but I mean, it's not been chopped. This is an original. This is not, got some Chevy 350 under the hood or something. So this is going to bring the money. Yeah, so he's selling it for a family friend that passed. Okay, so anyway, this is, these 40 Mercs. I'm telling you, there's going to be a time when these things get even higher, I think. I don't think they've reached their peak. So if this is one you want to buy and sit on, you can. But, finding a 40 Merc convertible in this condition, under 50, that's pretty tough. So I don't think he's wrong. I was going to guess it's worth 50. He listed at 48.5 and then he's dropped it to 42.5. Personally, I think you can offer him 38, maybe 40, and then list it for 52.5. if you wanted to flip it. Me personally, I'd keep this sucker. This is nice. This would go into my collection for sure. Anyway, but if you guys want a quick flip, or not a quick flip, but a good flip, good solid flip with a good return, I think there's about 10 grand to be made on this one, and without doing anything. Just pull it in, park it. You don't have to touch this one at all. Okay, next one. Oh yeah, this is way too cheap. Okay, so this one is, this has not been wrecked. At least it doesn't say it has. Titles in hand, not been wrecked. This is a freaking GT500 Shelby convertible, 6-speed manual. So yeah, low mileage. It's not high mileage car. I thought it was gonna, when I clicked on it at 24,000, I thought it was gonna be, $24,000. I thought it was gonna be like a 100,000 mile car. No, it's only got 56,000 miles. This is, yeah, I'd say this one's too cheap too, guys. If you can talk them down another 1,000 or two, that'd be great. Yeah, I was just seeing, because I thought he said something about taking the upgrades off. No, he's keeping them on there. He's just saying it's worth 24 without the upgrades. Yeah, he's right. I still think looking at this is a 28.5 to $30,000 car. To the right buyers, they'll pay it for this one, especially with the 56,000 miles. This is in pristine shape. So yeah, I would say there's probably a good 5-6 grand on this one to be made. All right, next one. Okay, here we go. This is all right. So don't sleep on these NAPCOs, guys. These things are bringing stupid, crazy money, especially restored. The last one that I had on here, the guy was wanting 13,000. There was a dent on every panel, and I still thought it was too cheap. And he literally sold it within like 2 days. So it wasn't near as nice as this one. This one's much nicer, 22 grand. But this is not going to be an easy flip. This is not one. I think this is about all the money for the condition it's in. The catch on this one is to fully restore this bad boy, and you'll be pushing 100 grand. Believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy. These things are selling for anywhere between, I've seen them restored selling for anywhere between 65 on the low side to about 100, 110 on the high side, depending on how rare it was. And but yeah, that's just crazy money for these. But because this is a New Mexico truck, you're gonna get about as rust free as you can get. So the restoration on this one will be pretty straightforward. Or just get it running and driving the way it is, and put the hubcaps on it is what I would. If it was me, well, there's I don't know. I'd be torn on this one, because if it was me, honestly, I'd probably do the full restoration. But you could easily clean up the interior, make it drivable, and probably ask 30, 35 for it. With the hubcap, get the original hubcaps on it, and maybe find a period correct winch bumper. I don't know. I wouldn't do much to it. Put the mirrors back on it, and then get like the lights fixed, and just get it nice dry, make it a nice driver, and I bet you get 30, 35 for it. All right, coming down to the last two here. What do we got? Oh, I know what the last two are. Okay, so these are good deals, guys. I don't know what the heck these people are thinking. So this is he says, and again, I'm just going strictly when I tell you about these deals, guys. I don't call these people. I don't verify anything. I don't do any of that stuff. I just read the description, and we just go from there. But this is a 5.9 Cummins swapped F350, not a 250, F350, and it is a Lariat package, and it is in very nice shape. You know, some of these look like work trucks, and this one doesn't look like it's been worked too hard at all. Um, but this Cummins swap, these are regularly selling for about $25,000. I see them all the time selling for 25 grand. And most of them don't have the cruise control working. So this one says the cruise control works, and all the gauges work. So most of the ones that I've seen, the project, they haven't got the cruise control working, or the air conditioner isn't hooked up, or you know, something's not quite finished on the project. This one looks like it's done and ready to go at 16. This is a super cheap deal. I can't believe that this has been on the market for 3 weeks. Something's either wrong with that, or people are just flat out crazy not spotting this thing, because this should be going like quick. Again, I see these selling all the time for 25. So I believe you've got a good 8-10 grand sitting here in profit on this one. And same with the next one. This one is crazy, same thing. So this one is an Excursion, 2000 Excursion. So it doesn't have, unfortunately, that's the leaf spring one in the front. So these are not as desirable because they don't ride as smooth. But still, 16 grand. This is a $20,000 ride all day long, all day. I mean, you could easily list it for 22.5, and I think you would get it. Why this thing is at 16, I do not know, but I would detail this out, clean this up, clean this engine bay out, detail it out, make sure everything is working. He says everything works and everything is functioning as it's supposed to be. So, and then the bonus on this one is it's already got the 5-speed manual conversion done to it. So, yeah, a lot of people don't want the automatics. A lot of people they're looking for these Cummins swaps. A lot of them want the manual. And to find a manual Excursion, obviously they ever made one. So he took Super Duty parts and put them in here to make this between the Super Duty and of course the NV4500, which came from the Dodge. So he basically put the Dodge transmission, but he put the Super Duty pedals in it, and converted this over to 5-speed. My one pet peeve, this is my personal pet peeve on these, is I hate that when people do that swap and don't swap out the steering wheel, the steering column. I hate seeing an automatic column. Same with this. I don't like seeing that. I would swap out that's just me personally, but that's one of my pet peeves is I'll swap out the dash for one that came out of a manual truck, so it doesn't have the gear selector on here, and then I'll get rid of the steering column, so you don't have the automatic on the column sitting there. I just think that looks silly, and looks unfinished. But anyway, this is a 22 to 25, 20 to 22.5 truck all day long. You could probably even stretch it to 25 and sit on it for a little bit if you wanted to. But there is plenty of room in these cars, guys, this week. Take your pick. 10 grand here, 5 grand there, 5-10 grand there, 10 grand, 10 grand. I mean, there is 5 grand there. I mean, I'm shocked how many good deals were out there this week. So hopefully you guys can find something there that you like. Like I said, if you guys are looking for something in particular, you can put it down in the comments or message me on Facebook, and I'll do my best to see if I can't find something that you guys are looking for. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. I will talk with you guys next